Hello farmers and welcome back to American Falls. This foraging contract has been going on for quite a while. Just a little over an hour and a half to get this far. Course Play is doing a wonderful job, although it's been kind of weird the way it's been going around the field. But then again, it's an oddly shaped field. I am kind of hoping that we got enough chaff to finish up the contract. As we all know, sometimes that can be an issue. I think we're going to. The contract is like 93% done, but last time I delivered a full trailer, it said 83% delivered. A full trailer has been about 18%, so I pretty much need a full trailer. But sometimes the contracts don't work that way, so we'll see how this all pans out here in just a moment. I have another contract that we're going to be doing today. Well, let's face it, they're all going to be contracts for a while, but it's a fertilizing contract. And I want to get it all done by noon, because when noon comes, that's when the rain should arrive. So definitely want to get this done pretty darn soon. We have that section over there to do, and that will be it. Francine, I think, is the one that's behind the controls now. She's been doing a wonderful job, and she's enjoying a nice payday, because I think so far I've paid her like $1,600. But that's fine, because in the end, we're getting like $67,000 for the contract, minus the leasing fees, and of course paying Francine for doing what she does. Oh, you got more chaff in there, do you? All right. Now this should be about 3 passes, maybe. So hopefully we get it done. It says rain at noon, but we know how that could be. Checking on the store page, just to remind myself, there are some good things that are in there, but nothing that we need currently. The only thing I think we're really looking for is just a good medium-sized horsepower tractor, so we can get ourselves some other leasing. We could probably lease equipment and get some other contracts done. I would like to do some plowing contracts, but not with the plows they're giving me for the contracts. As we did plowing contracts a little while ago, and that took me a while to do in between episodes. Francine, where are you going? Pick a lane. So yeah, plowing contracts, I would like to get the lizard plow for us. We can lease that, but I'm going to need a tractor that can handle it first. And once we do that, then I think we can do rather well for ourselves, because we can also lease a drill and drill with our own tractor. But I don't want to lease a medium-sized tractor, because the fees on that will start to get high. So kind of got our fingers crossed that through this upcoming winter, we'll find something that will work. That's all I'm looking for, something that will work. Don't care what brand tractor, don't really care pretty much anything about it, just as long as it's in our price range. Because in the future, in the long run here in American Falls, we can always trade it on in and get something else. At least that'll be the plan looking forward. So another obvious thing at this point, you might realize that American Falls was in testing again this previous week, actually a few days ago, and now it failed on something else. Oh. I feel Lancey Boy's frustration. I read the post on his Facebook page, and yeah, I can feel the frustration that it's not failing on his stuff. It's kind of failing on stuff from that's come directly from Giants, right? In Giants Editor, apparently. So I don't know. I'm not a modder, so I only edit XML files on mods once in a while. But yeah, I can understand the frustration. So until then, we're just going to keep on doing the contracts like we've been doing. Save up the money. By the end of this contract here, in the fertilizing contract, we should be somewhere around 180,000, I'm guessing. So that's pretty good if a medium-sized tractor does come up for sale. It's got to come up for sale. Yes, we can buy new stuff on this series, not like on Goldcrest Valley where we only can buy used stuff. But in the early stages, I'm looking for the used stuff to buy it on the cheap. And really, once we get ourselves a medium-sized tractor, then we can start saving up with all the contracts we'll be doing. And then we can buy our first farmyard. But I won't do that until the map gets updated, because of the new save game it will require. So, I would hope by then it passed testing at some point. We're only doing one episode a week pretty much until the map gets updated. Actually, it probably will remain one episode per week for a while, because we're not that far off from the premium edition of FS22 that comes out in November. So, yeah, this being the last weekend of October, just around the corner. And I would like to do a mini series, I think, on the new map, just so we can go ahead and do the 3 new crops. Carrots, parsnips, and yeah, y'all know what the third one is, right? Because right now I'm just drawing a blank. But there's 3 new crops, and of course the new map. So we'll just probably do a mini let's play on that. We'll probably just do the crop types or whatever. You know, I really haven't looked at the map or read any of the posts that Giants have sent me, so I really don't have a feel for the map at all. It could end up being something, like I said before, like Silver Run, where I thought, yeah, we just have a quick look at it and go. Then I realized, oh, build a roller coaster. That sounds like fun. I realize there's new productions on the new map, but with the mod hub, there's a lot of new productions most of the time anyways. Making pianos is going to be on there. So, yeah, I mean, if there's something like Silver Run was very interesting because it was building yachts and building a roller coaster. I mean, the roller coaster was pretty exciting. I mean, that opened up the doors for a lot of things that map modders could probably do. Moving forward here in Farming Simulator, no one, I don't think, has tried it, or maybe they have tried it. I don't know. But as far as I know, nothing like that has come up on the map yet. I like those kind of things to where you got to gather a whole bunch of material, as long as it's not too tedious on it. And the roller coaster didn't seem too tedious on it. But gather up a whole material and then build something, and then in the end you can feel kind of like you accomplished something. Like when I built that roller coaster, I felt like I accomplished something. It's like, yeah, we spent a lot of time, resources, hard work with autoloaders, and we got that roller coaster built. All right, so the last pass here, at least I think so. And then I can tell Francine she can go and have the rest of the day off. Pretty sure she'll like that. She's been in that forage harvester now for a couple of hours. I've just got my fingers crossed that when we deliver this chaff, which is almost a full trailer, I'm hoping that it completes the contract. If it doesn't, we'll do like we did before. I do believe it was a canola harvest, or was it sunflower harvest? I think it was a canola harvest that we did. Maybe. I don't know. Either way, we were a little bit short on the contract, so we just cheesed in a little bit of the crop, and we just got enough done to get the contract done. Did she actually leave the harvester? Because if she did, I don't want her billing me for every minute she's in there. All right, she is gone. Speaking of being gone, let's go ahead and get gone. Yeah, there are a few patches here and there, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. Just because with a forage harvester, I'd have to go around and take care of the little patches, and the forage harvester does not have the capacity, so I need to hire a worker to follow behind me. I could use the mod follow me to do it. You know what, let's go ahead and drop into the cab here, and we'll ride first person. I know a lot of people do like seeing first person once in a while, so it was kind of weird. Before I got my new graphics card a few weeks ago, up till then, my 2080 could not handle in-cab in 4K for some reason, but that's fine. And people were asking, I wish you did more in-cab stuff once in a while. I got the new graphics card, I did in-cab stuff, and all I heard was, please don't do in-cab stuff. So it's just like, no matter what I do, it's like, no, don't do that. You can do it the other way. Then if I do it the other way, people are like, can you do it the other way once in a while? So I'll do in-cab once in a while. I won't do field work in cab just because I think, like myself, I'd like to see the implement working. Plus, I'm not good enough, because I haven't done a lot of in cab stuff, to know the working with too well of my implement and know exactly where I need to be. But it's like anything, practice makes perfect. Kind of like the tree harvester in Oceanside Forest. I've gotten really good at that. So it has rained here in American Falls, but I've yet to see the flooding take place. Maybe it has happened. I just haven't been on the correct part of the map where it happened, so we shall see at some point. Unless the new update to American Falls gets rid of that. I just read a few things that he's taken care of. I think the shop is one thing. So like when the things spawn at the shop, we get a little bit more room to attach, or they spawn in different locations. I think the floating deer issue, which seems to be happening more in this map than other maps, is being solved as well, along with some other things. Just not sure what they are. Alright, fingers crossed we're coming up on the sell point. Another thing I will say about Lancy Boy and the way the map is done, October, November, look at all the beautiful orange trees. I wish the leaves would be just a little bit more various of colors rather than just like an orange. I mean, like some yellows, some reds, maybe some slight purples here and there. Okay, forward we go, and alright, deliver the chaff. And of course, if there's any extra, we get the money, but chaff is not worth that much. Alright, the chaff is going on in. Fingers crossed. Oh, contract complete. Okay, so that's plus number one. Plus an extra $787 in cash. Well, you know what? I'm too lazy to return that, so we're going to go ahead and let the farm go ahead and handle it. Or the shop, or whoever is in charge of the leased equipment when we go ahead and do contracts. So there we go, $67,290, but then again, we do have to pay a leasing fee of $4,306, but $62,984. Let's collect on that nice little contract. So yeah, there are other harvesting contracts, but the better paying ones are, of course, either root crop harvesting, or like the contract we just said are going to take a while. There are a couple of plowing contracts, same equipment. I don't mind doing the plowing contracts, but that will take a while. I just don't feel like doing it. So we're not going to. Field 23 and fertilizing. Well, we got our Vultra, and I think that's going to be enough fertilizer. Now I got to find field number 23. There's 29. How these... I still haven't figured out the way the fields go just yet. There's 24. 23 over here. Alright, so... we'll take a left, and then go down. Alright, and it looks like it's a canola field. Let me go ahead and put my beacons on, my strobes. Yeah, so 178, so we'll be over 180,000, which is great. As for the collectibles, I know some people, there's been a couple comments like you've gone past a couple of the collectibles. Collectibles are something I really don't get into. I did when I used to play, well, when I used to, back in FS 15, 17, maybe the very beginning of 19 I did the collectibles, and I've kind of gotten away from that because I kind of like to start, well, when I play Farming Simulator, most of the time I like to go ahead and earn everything that we have on the farm. So even if I start with like $1 million, I'll repay the $1 million some way, shape, or form. Or usually we start with zero. We kind of did here in a sense. I started with zero, but then we had the pickup truck, and what else did I sell? I forgot what you start with on the map. I sold all that, and we pretty much had like 100 grand along with the property or something like that. So just enough to get us this Vultra and the fertilizer spreader. But then again, really, this is not our farm that we are running. We're running it for the community to bring everything back to the community. As we know, the previous farmer that was here, as it says in the XML file, pretty much took off with everything, and the community was left with nothing. So we're trying to, get the community, get the property back to the community and build up the farm so the community has something to profit on. And right now, we got ourselves a Vultra, a fertilizer spreader, and $178,000. That's what we got. It should be a quick job. Just make sure we're going into the right field here. Yep, that's the one blinking. Let me scroll on back so I can see my working with here. So I'll do a Headland first. That's because it's easy just to get the fertilizer lined up with the headland, and then just zigzag in the middle a little bit, because it's kind of hard to see when the crop has grown exactly where you've been. But this is kind of a small field, and with a spreader this wide, we're going to cover most of it just by doing the headland alone. I mean, we'll see if there's any contracts to do in December and January and February in itself. Probably not until March, really, before we get into doing a lot of contracts again. Fertilizing contracts, number one on our list to look for. Because with working with the 42 meters wide and what they pay is pretty darn good. The pay for the time spent is what I look at it. Yes, we're spending a lot of money on fertilizer to fertilize the field, but the time that we spend on the field is very little. Like, it took me 2 hours to do that forage harvesting contract for $60 some odd thousand. I could do like 10 fertilizing contracts at like $5,000 a piece in like an hour, maybe even quicker. Yeah, so we got a headland done. I think that just came up and said we were like 84% done. So we'll kind of guess where we got to go. And without precision farming, I can't bring up the map, and it's not going to show me the fertilizing where we've been. I have to go to the PDA map and kind of look at it, but we should be pretty darn close. There we are. All right, let's go ahead and collect on that contract. Nice and quick. So there's a cultivating job only for $21.92 in field 29, and a couple of plowing contracts. Well, I think what I'm going to do, though, I'm going to go back to... let me go to the store. I'm going to buy one thing of fertilizer so I can top this off, since I'm kind of down here. And then I think we'll go on home and we'll just say goodbye to the month of November, especially for the rain. So actually, let me fast forward the time. But before I do, let me check on the store used section. So, I mean, yeah, there's a nice combine there. Sugar beet, no, I don't want to get involved in that, like I said. Disc harrow, should not really want that. And a mulcher. You know, I might do mulching later on, but definitely we don't need that for now. So let me fast forward some time. So the rain should hit here. It says at noon. And yep, there's the rain. Let's get to the store. We'll buy 2 things of fertilizer. Possibly. What will really get me upset is I go to the end of the month and there's something for sale and I'm short by like $1,000, $2,000, which I would have had if I didn't buy this fertilizer that I'm about to. So, but maybe some more fertilizing contracts that come up in the middle of the day here. Now I'm wondering if he's just going to push back the storefront a little bit. Not too sure. Let's go in here, and of course, fertilizer. So 1,000 liters apiece. I think we'll buy 4. There goes the rain, so it's just an afternoon shower, apparently. Alright, so while that's filling up, we'll just double check, because we are going fast on the time, but I don't expect anything to come up in the store that fast. And let's see, some more cultivating jobs have come up. Some nice ones, I won't lie. 9,000. Hold on, let me slow down time a little bit. I mean, we're here at the store. And if I take the one for the big field, borrow the items, I could do the other contracts probably really quick because I'm getting myself a big cultivator for small fields. Nope, wrong button. We need to go here. Field 45. Is that the one field that we always do? Up here? No, it's 49. No, 45. It is 45. I've done that. I've done that field quite a bit. I had no problem doing it again for that price. Let's grab cultivator. Looks like the T9. Same setup. Borrow items. Make sure I do that. And what I'm going to do is we're going to accept the contract for field number 4. And we're going to accept the contract for field 29. I think it's almost this. No, I think it was the 9RT that we did it before. Alright, so this is one thing that people have told Lancey Boy, like, getting out of here with big equipment is kind of tricky. I mean, I probably should have just gone to the left. I think we can squeeze out of here. All right, let's turn on the beacons. Careful of the train here. As we saw once, a train came through before the barricades came down. So by getting these 3 contracts done, and then I will be done the month of November. I'm not going to take any more. I think it'll be time to move on from November. But this should give us a decent amount of cash for a tractor. Fingers crossed for the month of December, January, February, and into the early morning of March. Although there should be some harvesting contracts for like sunflowers to our left. But after doing 2 hours of forage harvesting, I think I just want to move on and dig up some dirt. So that was a quick afternoon shower that we had. And if March comes and no tractor comes up for sale, 1, I'll be shaking my fist. But 2, maybe, well, I'll worry about that when it comes. I was thinking maybe we'll just buy the land. I mean, I always hate having money sitting in the bank account when I could put it towards something and start earning money off the money that I had. So, because some things that we may do in the early stages is to, you know, help have some money coming in once we get our own farmland, is maybe put down a couple greenhouses and start earning some money passively that way by just putting some water into them. It's kind of interesting that the greenhouses from 19 to 22 went from needing water and manure to just needing water. I wish they kind of, I think it was Alien Jim's greenhouses in 19, to where, you know, yeah, you could put just water into it and it'd be fine. But if you put manure into the greenhouse as well, you got definitely a bonus from it. I think I know where I'm going, so I'm just gonna put the map on. Yeah, okay, we're going the right direction. I think I gotta take a left-hand turn. I think there's a fence that goes around this field. So I think I gotta go down a road somewhere and then cut into the field later on. But I feel like we've cultivated this field a few times. Okay, it kind of looks like it's been cultivated, but yeah. I am at the right field. Yes. Yeah. All right. Field 29 is kind of in the middle of the map, and field number 4 is in the upper left-hand corner. That's all right. This thing is not that slow. But today we're just going to get this field here done. It won't take me too long. Ah, floating deer, reindeer. I mean, we've all seen the floating deer on all. Well, at least I've seen them on all the maps I've been on. Does it tell me if this field's been plowed or whatever? Growing, so it's been harvested. And we'll get this field done in no time flat-ish. Probably 15 minutes or so. But then I can quickly get the other the other 2 fields done really quick with this equipment. I hope it's not difficult to get in those fields with this equipment. The only thing I can't do, I got to remind myself that when I finish this contract here, do not collect on it, because this is the one I borrowed the items on. So if I collect on it, the items go bye-bye. And then the other 2 contracts are like, are you coming over to do these? And it's like, well, I kind of goofed. Because I have done that before. Where I forgot which contract I borrowed the items on, or just very quick on the trigger to want the money and collect on the contract and go, oh yeah, I was going to use that equipment on other contracts. I'm surprised that they haven't brought back what they had like in 17, FS17 for contracts. Of course, back then they were called missions, to where if you went too far from the field, the contract would start over and the equipment would kind of like teleport back to the field. But then back in 17, when you took missions, you had to go to the field, and there was like a sign, like a for sale sign. I think it was a for sale sign you kind of walked up to, because obviously it wasn't your property. You'd walk up to the for sale sign, you could either buy or click on a mission, and the equipment would just spawn at the field. It wouldn't spawn at the store. You wouldn't have to drive. You wouldn't have to go to the store and bring the equipment to the field. And if you left the boundary of the property, you get like a warning like, oh, you need to drive back to the field within, I don't remember how long it was. May have been only 10 seconds, which doesn't seem long, and sometimes it wasn't if you were in slow equipment. And then, yeah, if you didn't get back in the field, it would just say mission failed, and the field would revert back to the way it was before the mission started, and you would have to start over. So I'm surprised that something like that hasn't been brought back to prevent us from borrowing items on one contract and then using them for other fields, because I can imagine a farmer would not be too happy if we come down to do a contract and we're using their equipment, and they're like, I want to take your equipment and go do the other farmer's field. But I guess in sense, now that I think about it, we're actually borrowing the items, we're kind of leasing the items from the store. So I guess they're our tractor and cultivator that we're leasing. And on the very cheap. Very cheap. Well, let's see. By the time we get done all 3 contracts, we should have contract page. There we go. So 9, 10, 11. So about 15. I'm going to say 15. I'm going to take that money on out because that's probably from the leasing. So we should be somewhere around $190,000 when we get done with these 3 contracts. I'm all set to move on through winter that way. It'll be all good until the tractor comes up for sale for $198,000, and I don't have nothing to sell other than the Vulture tractor that we have, which I don't want to get rid of, the spreader, which I would not want to get rid of. I should double check because it's been a while. I didn't lease anything on that. No, okay. Just want to remind myself if I leased that spreader or not. I would assume I would have bought it for as cheap as it sort of is. I'm just trying to remember. I think we cultivated this field. I think we may have drilled oilseed radish in the field. And I think we've cultivated the field with oilseed radish in it. Now here we are cultivating this field again. I feel like this might be one of the fields that will get flooded when it rains. That water level looks kind of close to the level that we're at. guess I can turn the beacons off on the T9. We don't need them anymore. Unless it's for the deer. The deer need to watch out. Actually, I'm just going to turn right around here. Articulated tractors. Takes me a moment to get used to it. Just like in yesterday's episode of Oceanside Forest, getting in the big bud with the 30-meter wide direct drill and seed tank behind it. Took me a couple minutes to get used to how that was turning and how to turn it, so everything lined up nicely. But cultivating is something, as we all know, I don't do that much of because I always do direct drills. So cultivating is something I don't ever need to do. So it's not bad to do it as a contract once in a while. But it's not, like I said, it's not going to take me long to finish up this field here. And the other two fields won't take me that long either. And that is probably where we will start next episode, is finishing up the last field of the 3. And then we'll collect in all 3 contracts. And depending on what December brings for contracts, we may just be zipping right on through the winter months. And keeping our eye on the store. And like I said, we'll see what comes up for sale. For some reason, I feel like if one does come up for sale, it's going to be a John Deere. Because lately John Deeres have been coming up for sale at the beginning of my Let's Plays, and those are the ones that we buy. Let's see how this pulls us up the hill. We're going at 9 miles an hour. It's a pretty good incline here. I think I can. They'll make it, but it did drop down to 3. I don't know what the horsepower requirement is for the cultivator. But we made it. There, now I'm turning a little bit better. But just as soon as I get used to it, we'll be returning it. Which, like I said, will be at the beginning of next episode when we finish the last of the 3 fields. And yeah, we should be somewhere right around 190,000 at that point, and we'll move on. But that is going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always, and I'll catch you again right here in American Falls. But until then, have a good one.